We have nothing planned, but we're doing it.
What's wrong?
You can see. Oh,
Hold on to your
whoa!
butts.
Time out.
Whoa.
Time out.
Inaudible.
Look at that. Dom, you're muted. Unless she's just there and
She just doesn't want to talk to you.
you are muted. You are.
Hello,
Yep,
you guys. I couldn't hear you.
Let me move my camera again.
How are you, friends?
Good.
Oh, really great response.
Good. Obviously,
Doing great, Dom. Great,
Thank
great to see you.
you.
Phil
Thanks.
is
are you
not
doing?
here. Phil is recuperating from his trip to Arizona.
What's jet lag? Never heard of that.
I don't know.
Okay, I'm sorry. You can't be jet lagged. It's 2 hours. Like, I cannot give that to him. I'm so sorry.
Dude, he's not jet lagged. He's girlfriend lagged. You don't go on vacation and then hang out with your friends on the internet. That's not
Okay,
how
I get
happens.
that. I would also. I would hang out with Anna Maria. So I gotta.
Seems like an excuse to me. But welcome all. This
don't need
is
anything else.
episode 123 of Snakes and Stogies, which is brought to you by Puget Sound Pythons, the awesome people that are in the chat. Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, check them out. And blackboxcages.com. So I know there's at least 3 of us here that have black box stuff, and we all love it. Look, Dominique's pointing it out right there.
All my shit's freestyle.
Yeah. Elijah
But
and Billy Jenkins need to get up on it.
I don't
Black
even keep
box
in cages.
is really
I don't even
nice.
keep in cages.
I don't even keep in cages. Clayton Seaver, what's up, buddy? Yeah, blackboxcages.com. Check them out. Facebook, Instagram, blackboxcages.com. Awesome stuff. Really good quality products that we all love and use. And if you don't have some, you should get some. See for yourself. Satisfaction guaranteed.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ellie's here.
Ellie. Hi. Hey, what's up, girl?
I'm gonna blow out your little eardrums.
Uh-huh.
Oh my gosh. Hey, Ellie, you got to give your dad a pedicure. We're tired of looking at those ugly toes every week.
What do you mean?
I tried.
And piggies.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Hey, Ellie, what's up, girl? Ellie, what are your thoughts on the snakes? You have any comments?
I really like the rhino rat head.
She's a Rhinocophus kid,
Of course you do.
as she should be.
It's just that my dad keeps a lot of them.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. He does. If you could only keep like one snake in your dad's collection, which one would you keep?
I think if Mr. Biggs was still around, that ginormous snake, then I
Those
would
are the
keep
male
that
Brettles.
one. Then
The
I
Brettle.
would keep that one.
Yeah. Good taste.
choice.
That's good
Good
taste.
choice.
She liked the Brettles. He was awesome
Good
because
dad, dude.
he was super chill, just a giant puppy.
Literally.
I have a hyper Brettles from Casey down there.
The cannon.
Cannon fire, dude.
Bill, what's going on?
I got my raffle winnings from Puget Sound Pythons
did.
today, which was awesome. And I got a plant box from Clint Reinhardt, which was pretty epic.
Yeah, Clint's stuff is so cool.
Dominique, what's your favorite snake?
Ooh, what's my favorite snake? So like my favorite snake that I keep or in general?
Like in general.
Ooh, that's hard. So usually I'd say that my favorite snake is green tree pythons because I really like those. But if it had to be any snake, I'm really
No rodeo.
liking I'm really liking boom slings lately. I think those are very cool.
Boomschlangs.
I
Do you know what
don't
boom
think my
sling
dad-
is?
I don't think my dad keeps any of those.
I don't keep any boomslangs.
No. You would know if he did. Your mom would not be happy. I can almost bet.
Mom would probably
My
kick me
mom,
out.
my mom doesn't let him keep any poisonous or venomous snakes.
Can't have
Yeah.
Rhabdophis, then I'm out of luck on the keelbacks.
Yeah. You should talk to him about getting an alligator snapping turtle, though, right, Smitty?
We had when I still lived with my grandma and my mom. So there was this ginormous. When I was 4 years old in the morning, there was this ginormous snapping turtle.
There was. It was a giant snapping turtle that a common snapper that had just somehow rolled up to their front door and was just chilling. So
Yeah.
my mother-in-law like opened the front door and there was just a common snapper just chilling right there. And Katie had to move it.
What did you do, Ellie?
The first thing I did was exaggerated and fainted.
Exaggerated and fainted.
At the same time. Dude,
Yep.
Clint's Reptiles did a video with a common snapper, and it was like a puppy dog.
It was?
My experience with them has not been that. I don't know about Bill, but
I don't recommend doing it in the wild, but you absolutely can pet my common snapper on the head.
See,
Really?
yeah.
You need to tell your
that's crazy.
mom that I have a handheld size alligator snapper just waiting for your dad.
Really? I don't think my mom would be very
you know what?
happy.
I found out today. So I was talking to my buddy Ryan Reed, and I was thinking that the beta lizards that I had talked about for so long that maybe he had moved them like out of necessity because he needed space or something, and he didn't. Because I talked to him today. He's like, "Yeah, I still got these betas for you." I was like, "Oh,
Okay.
where?"
It's meant to be.
My mom
Clearly,
My mom literally had to pick up the snapping turtle with a shovel. She had to scoop him up with a shovel.
I saw none of this. I was not around.
Oh my gosh. They can be scary. I would use a shovel too. I
Grab him
had
by
to
the
go
tail.
pick up
Turtle
I had to
man.
go pick up a snapping turtle last year, Ellie, and it was like this big and had a bunch of fish hooks in its
Big as
mouth.
your head.
So big. Well, I have a really big head, so it wasn't quite that big. But when we picked it up, its entire belly was covered in leeches.
Ew.
Oh,
Yeah, I didn't like that at all. And it pooped in my car.
Ew.
I know. Animals are gross.
I remember saving a softshell turtle from the road one time, and we were not that far from the river. So we're like, oh, we'll just take it back to the river. And we take it back, and like halfway back, I'm like, "Ugh." We start throwing up, like basically throwing up, and it had musked or whatever you want to call it all in the back, and it was not a good time.
Dominique, we still have your sunglasses from the last time you visited us.
Yeah, your dad needs to get those to me in Daytona.
I keep
Technically, I
forgetting about
actually
them.
took those from my mom, so my mom needs her sunglasses back. But
Oh,
thank you
no.
for the reminder.
She tells me all the time. She's like, "We have Dominique's sunglasses still."
I did get new ones, but they're not nearly as cool. Right?
Hmm.
Ellie, when are you going to come to Daytona? When you're old enough?
I was thinking when I was 16, my aunt could take me to Paris. That's what my mom
Oh,
said.
so she says she's foregoing Daytona altogether. She's like,
Ooh,
yeah.
I ain't hanging out with any of you scrubs. I'm going to Paris.
Well, if you're going to Paris, I'm
We're
coming.
waiting.
Dominique was just in Paris.
I was just in Paris.
Dominique was just there.
I was there 2 weeks ago. Isn't that crazy?
You'll have
You
to
were
be
all
our
over the
tour
place,
guide.
though. Oh, look.
Yeah, I was.
Here we go. It's just
Hi,
a
Katie.
Did you go to the Eiffel Tower?
Smith family nightmare.
We did not go
Oh,
up the
yeah.
Eiffel Tower, but we did go next to it.
Oh.
Yeah, because what's the point of going to the top?
Did they go to the Louvre?
We took a picture outside the Louvre, but it was too crazy busy, really busy, and I don't like crowds.
I feel that.
So you go to Paris?
Yeah, went to Paris for one day and we ate a lot of bread and cheese, which is what you're supposed to do in Paris.
Sounds amazing.
True.
I was wondering if you
America.
went to the school in Paris.
Went to the school. Which school? Do you
The
know?
cordon bleu.
Yeah.
I like blue cheese.
LaCroix.
I like blue cheese.
So when we were in Paris, we did a bus tour. You know those double-decker buses? Where they have like the
Yes,
top?
I've always wanted to ride one of those.
Yeah, so we were on one of those. We were on the top, and we just rode around the city, and I got sunburnt, and we just looked at all those sights because I didn't want to walk anymore. I was very tired of walking.
You didn't have a bike with a baguette in the basket?
No, because I don't want to pedal either.
Why do you
Oh.
minimize everybody's stuff?
So bougie.
Although I would love to recreate the picture of you on the bike, Justin.
You should
That
have.
is a good one. Yeah.
Oh yeah, talk about Portugal.
I was riding free.
Oh yeah, I did
What
get
kind
good.
of cheese did you eat?
What kind of cheese did I eat? Like
Yeah.
every kind of cheese there is. If it's fermented milk, I ate it.
Dude, I
A lot
love
of hot cheese.
all types of
They
cheese.
have Velveeta in Paris.
Yeah, big Velveeta capital of the world.
If they didn't have Kraft, what was the point of even going?
Yeah. Kraft macaroni. Every meal can't beat it.
That's amazing.
Mm,
I
Mike
hope they
asked
had-
about Portugal.
I hope they had Chef Boyardee there because
Oh yeah, duh. They've got a big statue of him right on the top of the Eiffel Tower.
I knew it.
Chef Boyardee's American stupid.
Crazy. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
What?
know.
How was? So I mean, Portugal's cool, but I want to know about the chondros in Portugal.
Yeah, so when I was traveling with my family in France for a week, and then it took another week off and went to Portugal, and got the really awesome opportunity to see Pedro Caixinha, who has some like most amazing green trees in the world. He has the mosaic line animals in Portugal, and just insane trying to keep my language clean for Ellie, but it was a really, really cool opportunity to see them. And Pedro's a great guy. It was, I was telling him, I think it's like absolutely one of my favorite parts about this hobby is like, as much as I love the animals, the people I've met through the animals that we love is just like so incredible. The fact that I can go around the world and just say, hey, like I'd like to see your animals, like to meet you. And he welcomed you with open arms. And it's just like awesome.
Is that guy one of your friends?
Pedro? Yeah,
Yeah.
he is. He was in your dad's magazine too.
Yep.
Seriously?
Yeah,
Seriously,
seriously, crazy.
he helped with the chondro issue.
J.
So where you went to France, you went to Portugal. Where else did you go?
So just those two countries, but in France we did
Walmart.
Normandy. We did the Normandy region. So lots of World War II history, mostly
that was
focused on
so
D-Day.
cool.
It was very cool.
Haunted.
Like very difficult, but cool.
Yeah.
Did you go to Walmart?
Let her finish. Let her finish.
Did I go to Walmart? I did not go to Walmart. I did go to Carrefour, which is like their Kroger.
Which is like
And then
Roger.
I flew to Portugal and I went to Evora, which is where Pedro lives, which is a city like an hour and a half outside of Lisbon. And then I stayed in Lisbon and then also went to another city called Sintra nearby. So very, very busy 2 weeks. And my credit card is hurting.
Someone asked if they had chilies there, which is a very important question.
You know, I don't even go to Chili's in the U.S., so I couldn't tell you.
because you have class.
No,
Dominique.
you.
Did you take French class? French.
I
It's
did.
called culture.
Yeah,
Yeah.
look it up.
Could you get back? Could you get by like speaking French and stuff?
Can you speak French right now?
Je parle un petit peu de français, mais je n'ai étudié pour 5 ans.
Oh,
So I speak a little French, but I haven't studied for 5 years. So I always
Buongiorno.
preface with that.
Lean, lean.
Oui, oui.
All right,
Yeah.
you can just say goodnight.
Gorlami.
Good night, Ellie.
Ratatouille.
Ratatouille.
Yeah.
I did eat ratatouille.
Really?
Yeah, I love ratatouille. I
Goodbye.
make ratatouille.
So what is ratatouille? Like,
Ellie, tell your dad to show you the video that I just sent to
Dominique.
his messenger.
Yeah.
Did you ever have any friends in Paris?
I thought you were gonna ask just any friends. Yeah, I do. I have one friend who lives in Paris. Her name's Erin. But when you come to Paris, you'll have to let me know. We'll go together. Good night, Ellie.
Ooh, Abami reptiles.
Yeah, I don't wear that shirt in public.
Oh,
I wear it in
ooh.
public all of the time, and I get so many crazy looks, and I'm like, okay, I'm not dirty. I just have snakes, and they're like,
Yeah, and that's so much
okay.
better.
Yeah. They're like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Ugh.
Crazy. Wow, what a great start.
Yeah.
I love Ellie.
She's she got to hop on THP for the last couple minutes on Thursday, and now she's like, "Can I podcast? I'm gonna podcast
so
with you."
She's gonna be famous.
Yeah, I just finished
Yeah.
the THP where I found out I was coming on Snakes and Stogies.
Oh yeah, I was like, Bill doesn't know it, but oh, there goes Elijah. Elijah's connection is very, very spotty.
Are you guys getting a lot of feedback from me, or no?
No?
No, sounds fine.
Great.
Tom, how are those eggs doing?
Eggs look good. So I got 4 ball python eggs. Pairing was a pastel double het exanthic pied to a pied het exanthic. So super, super exciting for my first ever pairing. I got 4 eggs and 1 slug, and we are about a week and a half in, and they all look good. Like, they've got little spots on them, but nothing I'm too concerned about right now.
Yeah, I mean, because they're what, 2 weeks in?
Yeah, just
Yeah.
about.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was
Good.
totally not prepared. She laid I must have miscalculated or something, but she laid 5 days earlier than I expected. So I had nothing. I had nothing ready.
That's
My
like margin
incubator
of
been
error,
running.
though.
Yeah, my
You took
incubator
a
been
play
running.
out of Jake's book.
Yeah.
So
I
what was
like-
the pairing again?
So it was a pastel double het exanthic and pied to a pied het exanthic. So super
What?
fun. I've had these animals turn 4 this year. The male and the female do. And the day they were laid, I messaged the breeder and said hey, I want a pair from this clutch. So it's truly has been a project 4 years in the making, and it's my very first pairing ever. So it's it's very
How
exciting.
good does it feel
Wow.
to have raised up those snakes, and now you have, potential progeny coming from them?
Yeah, it's super awesome. The only thing that's a little bit of a struggle right now is the mom still isn't eating. So she was only on live, and she actually belongs to a really good friend of mine, Matt Burton with KMB Reptiles. And he had her for 3 years, and then I've had her for the last 8 months or so, doing the pairings and everything. And she never got on frozen thawed, which was not that big of a deal. But now she's still not eating. So she's probably just going to go back to Matt because he has his own feeders there. And I'm hoping that she'll get back on. But luckily she looks as good as she can look. She definitely doesn't look great, but she did just lay eggs. So I'm not shocked. Yeah. And then I have the het pied female that I got from the last Carpet Fest auction. She is paired as well, and she looks really good. So maybe
Nice.
more babies. Yeah, it's exciting. It was such a surreal moment. I definitely had to mute the video when I sent it to my mom because I was just cursing along.
I've only ever paired crested geckos, and I mean that's walk in the park. So had a couple babies from that, but other than that, I mean it's gonna be. I might do something this coming up year, but
Get
who
on the
knows?
Baird's train, man. All aboard.
Dude, I can't.
Can't or won't?
That's a good question. I need more toques, even though they hate me.
Are you just working with normal toques or anything special with them?
I just have the one at the moment.
Yeah.
They're awesome, but they're obviously, they don't like to be held.
Yeah. A friend of mine was doing a lot of work with the really powder blue ones.
Yeah, those are neat.
There's a powder blue one at a shop near me, captive bred, and I know the guy who bred it, so I believe it, and I really want it, but also Daytona, and getting a shed the same time as Daytona. Not very smart on my end, but things happen.
I still need to get my plane ticket for Daytona. It's everything's so expensive right now. I'm like, oh my god. I have my credit card number memorized at this point, which is like not good.
Credit cards are the devil.
Yeah, I know. But also like I need it.
So real quick, like I said, Phil isn't here, but this week we are joined by Dominique DeFalco, Elijah Day, and Billy Jenkins. So everyone's on the same page as to what's happening and what's going on, because this is kind of all over the place. And Bill with his pipe hanging out.
I was about to say, what is Bill doing?
Listening.
Observing.
Bill's like the principal who walks into class and he's like, just pretend I'm not here.
Yeah.
And like we're all doing our best behavior.
Have you worked on those?
This is you all's best behavior.
I'm on very good behavior. Just wait till Daytona.
Have you worked on the cages at all with the builds there?
I just got the UV lights for the forest and rainforest setup. I got the plants for the Paraodura oviceps for that one. And then I have the Pleuris cyclurus setup, the Pleuris grandidieri setup. They're all glued and set, and they're just waiting for zoopoxy. And then I have the quote-unquote trees cut for the other two, and I just have to decide kind of how I'm going to lay them out. I know what I'm doing for the Boivini geckos, because that's just going to be tree trunks with one fallen log type of setup. But then the oviceps is going to be, the plant is pretty huge, but that enclosure is 3x3 and 18 deep, so it should cover a fair portion of the ground. And then there's going to be a tree coming up underneath of the UV, which is going to be capped, so it will look like a cut log. And then the other tree will be coming up underneath of the heat panel, and that will go all the way to the ceiling. So that oviceps is, they're a small species, so I'm probably never going to see it again. But I want to give it.
They're in there.
I want to give it the options. Whereas the Boivini, they actually come out. They eat off tongs. They're pretty cool. They don't mind people, but I want to give them. My thing for them is I want enough tree trunks, quote unquote, that they can avoid each other. Is the goal there. So it's just placing all of those. Everybody gets zoopoxied, and then we're pretty good.
Is that at your storefront or well, I say storefront, but your public facility?
Yep.
And how are you doing the trees?
So I have I've done it two ways. I have done it with PVC piping, and then I use the PVC piping that is meant as like field tile, so it's got the holes poked in it. That way you can poke branches and greens in there if you want to. For this one, I'm not going to do that because they're so small. It's just going to be solid piping. And then I also have the interior, that really thick cardboard pipe that's meant for a carpet roll. And so the ones that go all the way to the ceiling, I'm going to use that and cover the entire thing in zoopoxy. And it'll actually be attached to the floor and ceiling with the zoopoxy.
So I've heard a lot about zoopoxy. What's the difference between like that and like dry lock? From like, because I use dry lock in some of my custom cages, and I like it because it's more of a rocky feel than the Eco Earth.
So I've actually never used the dry lock. The zoopoxy is a two-part epoxy that you, when you're manipulating it, is basically like clay. And I use silicone cake molds. It's meant for cake fondant. And as long as you have those wet, they won't stick. So you can press it in, make your shapes, do your thing, but nothing sticks to it that's wet. And then once it cures, it's concrete hard. Like it is as hard as stone.
It's forever.
So it's the one enclosure I have done now for our green iguana. I mean, it's a full size 40 plus inch male green iguana, and he runs all over that stuff and digs right into it just like a tree. I mean, it doesn't even make a dent. Like you paint it with acrylic paint, and he hasn't even scratched the paint off. Like it ain't coming out.
So, like, next question is, how expensive is it?
Very.
Yeah.
So it is expensive. I get the 1 gallon kit, and the 1 gallon kit is a gallon of A and a gallon of B. It literally comes in paint cans. And then there's a thickening agent, which is like flour, but really not. But same consistency, and you actually use it in the same way when you're mixing the two, and you add it like flour, like you add flour to dough. I want to say the 1 gallon kit when I bought it was like $140 or something. But I built, so the trees in the iguana enclosure there's 2 between 4 and 5 foot tree trunks. The main body of the tree is almost 8 feet long. There are 3 angular branches that are probably each 3 feet long. And those are 4-inch PVC pipes. I mean, coated 360 the whole length. And I still have enough left over from this gallon kit that I'll probably get 2 of the black box cages. And then I'm going to get another gallon kit because I have a South America biotope I'm doing for boa constrictors, and I also have the biotope I'm doing for the yellow anaconda. So I have more trees to make.
So is it stuff that if you wanted to do like a background with it, you could apply it and then like stick tiles in there or something to create like ledges?
Yeah,
and not have to
100%.
worry about those falling out.
Yeah. So if you ever see like Mike Stefani's stuff, that's all he uses. When you look at those enclosures and it looks like it's stamped tile or stamped concrete, he coats the entire enclosure in Zoopoxy. He spends way too much money, but it looks amazing.
So,
and the guts of that is pink styrofoam, so it's covered.
Oh, okay.
It's just pink styrofoam covered up, which is how I'm doing the 2 aired enclosures for Black Box.
that's what I was going to ask. Like, how well does that Zoopoxy adhere to material in general? Wood, like you said,
it's
PVC.
awesome.
Yeah.
So Teresa and I, you do like just enough to kind of fill the palm of your hand. You add your 2 parts together, mix them good. It's literally like any other 2-part epoxy you would use, JB Weld or whatever. And then when you're coating the PVC itself, like you just keep your hands wet so that you can manipulate it, and you're adding it to that dry surface. And I mean, we literally were just smashing it out just thick enough to make the ridges of the tree trunk that we wanted to make with the silicone molding. And I mean, we did the whole thing in probably an hour. I mean, it's nothing. It's literally just like if you played with clay in art class, it's exactly like that.
Just keep it wet. You'll manipulate it. And...
Yeah. Dude, it's awesome.
How long does it take to cure?
It is expensive, but it's awesome. We let everything sit for 24 hours and then painted, and then that sat for 24 hours, and then I just chucked an iguana in there.
So wait, the paint is over the epoxy?
Mm-hmm.
What color is it without paint?
It's like a tan gray, like it's, I don't know, like
a dark khaki kind of.
Yeah. Actually, I have Billy's shirt that you're wearing. It's probably a little bit like that. Like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Huh.
So, I mean, we really honestly just kind of darkened it up a little bit to make a quote-unquote tree for the iguana.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. I'm thinking of stuff that I can do when it's time to upgrade the Aki enclosure, but
Get a black box and just full. Dude, you got to do the rock. Get the foam and stack it on the back. So there's little crevices where they can shove their fat little bodies into.
Yeah. I don't know. I was talking to Matt Most today because I've been thinking about rhino rats and sort of what I need to do for them, because my bigger ones will, like, it's from what I reread the HM article that we did on rhinos that Rob Stone wrote, and then I talked to Matt, and they keep theirs in groups year round. I have a PVC, like a cube, one of the sharp horn cages, sitting right here in front of me that I would like to use at some point, and I'll probably, I don't know. So let me back up. So I'll likely keep an adult pair together since I have a reverse trio at the moment, since my other two are still small, and there are ways before they'll be anywhere close to being together. So my thinking was either upgrade the Jansenine into something big, put a pair of the rhinos in the 3-footer they're in now, or have this cube, put a pair in that, sort of do the musical cages and move some stuff into the BioGs once they're empty, because I have those other 2 rhinos that are growing out. They're outgrowing those 6 quarts quick. The Barons he's got a BioG that's empty already and just waiting. But the only problem is I kind of hate cubes, like in the terms of like a room layout, especially when it's a room that's shaped like mine. Cubes don't work no matter where you put them. They're just, it's big, it's bulky, it's awkward, like it takes up a ton of space. But I would like to upgrade the Jansenine to something bigger. Ackies need an upgrade. So right now it's just figuring out what the hell to do.
I'm waiting on my shed, because that's literally like I'll have double the space that I have right now, and I have some 275-gallon IBC totes. They're made for like food grade material and stuff. They're the plastic with the cages around them. Mm-hmm. I have 2 of those, and my shed has like a 4-foot door, so I can wheel those in there and do some really badass bioactive setups. Probably let them run for a couple months and then get some stuff to put in them. So for someone who wants to get a shed like myself, what is, like, in your opinion, for doing what we do, like, what's the ideal size? I mean,
your not collection. Too big, not too small.
Well,
like how big is yours? Like, what's yours going to be?
So I'm getting a 12x16, 12 feet wide, 16. Well, it's technically 16 feet wide, 12 feet deep, by the way the roof pitch is set up. And that will basically double the space I have now, which will give me bigger doors to actually get big ass cages in. But I mean, I only have 9 snakes and a gecko. So like, I don't have a lot of stuff. Mm-hmm. I mean, something like of what you got, like, I mean, 50 plus animals, you may want something that's like 12 by 24 or 12 by 30, or maybe like a 14 by, whatever.
There's another house.
Yeah. I mean, I sell, pretty big sheds. So, I mean, it really depends on how many animals you have, like what type of space you want. I mean, because people come all the time, they're like, I want a shed that's not too big, not too small. And I'm like, okay. Like,
yeah, that kind of doesn't give you an idea of what you're talking about, right?
Yeah. What are you putting inside of it? Okay, well, I want 2 lawnmowers and 3 bicycles. Well, I'm not retarded. I mean, I can, I can figure out, like, okay, a 10 by 16 might work for you, something like that. But for what I'm doing, it'll give me enough space to expand and also, do stuff. Because, I mean, this is just another room. I want a sink, you know, maybe a chest freezer. Like, I want my own little space.
Yeah. What about, so with those, if you wanted to seal it, you wouldn't necessarily have to put it on slab though, right?
No, all like the shed I'm getting is 100% portable. From the factory, they're pretty airtight. All of the seams and everything are putty taped or foamed up with like closure strips. I mean, it's pretty good. But other than that, like, I'm just gonna do some foam board that's 2 inches thick. They sell them 4x8 sheets, and then do some like great stuff foam anywhere that's not airtight, and then seal the floor with some type of epoxy or a dry lock or something, just to that way it's airtight, and go from there. It's peaked like this. I've got an AC cutout somewhere in there. That way I have a dedicated spot for AC. I've got windows on both sides, and then my door has a window. Of course, I'll post it and stuff, but
Yeah, Terry Burwell's shed that he's putting together right now is like ideal, the perfect sort of setup.
oh yeah. If you're in Florida, hit me up for a shed.
What
We
about
got 'em.
what about southern South Carolina?
For you, Smitty, I will
just over the Georgia border.
figure it out. But my company services Florida and parts of southern Georgia.
And I mean, obviously you're going to run electricity and stuff to it, and
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I've got a.
you're going to drywall and everything.
No, not drywall. And that's the thing. If you're going to get a shed, do not put drywall in it. Do all your insulation. Do what you want to, but then go inside, and they sell 1/8-inch paneling. That's like
It's like the
brick
super thick cardboard kind of stuff.
or wood. Well, it's not cardboard. They sell it like Lowe's and stuff, and it's like it's just paneling. It's super thin, but what it does is it allows you to have a clean looking inside, but it's not heavy.
Okay.
So if you ever want to move your shed, you don't have to worry about cracking or there's just a lot of problems with drywall when you try moving something.
I didn't think about that. And what are you putting between that paneling and the actual wall of the shed itself?
I'm just going to, in between the studs, I'm going to be doing the foam board. That's the 4x8 sheets. I'm going to cut it to press fit basically in there. Anywhere else, I'm going to try to shoot it with some foam, like the great stuff, like I said, foam, just to kind of make it a little bit more airtight. And then just put the paneling to the wood studs. And then, it won't be the prettiest, but it's also a little smirk out there. Yeah, it'll be insulated, and that's all I really care about. I'll probably just do a simple AC that runs just cold, and then during the colder months, I might put just a space heater in the center of it. Because it's 12x16. It's not a shop. It's relatively small.
How many outlets are you going to run on like each wall?
That's the question. I've done a couple, like from the I just did what's standard from the factory because they charge an arm and a leg. That's me being a customer. So I'm going to get my dad and me, we're going to run some probably 2 on each 12-foot wall, 4 on the 16-foot wall. You can't have too many.
Yeah, that's what if I'm going to, whenever I do it, it's definitely going to have like a freaking outlet every, 3 feet or whatever.
Yeah.
At least.
And that way you don't have to run 20 power strips and worry about your house catching on fire.
Tom with the cat.
I feel like a mother. Like this is my foster cat, and she
That is
is
a really cool cat.
she's so chill. I've been kind of putting her through the ringer as far as like messing with her to see how she'll do, and I think she's like gonna do really well with kids. So if I manage to give her up, but she's watching the snakes behind me. But yeah, no, this is, what is her name? Downy Woodmint is her name from the shelter. I just call her Foster.
That's the best. You don't get attached.
Yeah, she sits and puts her paws under the door, and she just cries at Yzma, and I can look under the door and see Yzma sitting like 4 feet away, like, okay.
Dude, Yzma gives me nightmares.
Yzma is my best friend. Not in a weird way, but in a weird way, she is my best friend. Yeah. Yeah. I think that's interesting. I would like to have one day have like, okay, shush, have a like shed or something outside of my house. But I have to have a house first. That would be nice. Right now I have just my office and that works, but definitely like, do you hear her? Oh my God.
No, I don't.
I definitely like living in older apartments because I've always lived in like apartments older than like the 1930s.
Haunted.
But well, yeah, duh. And they have no outlets, like none. Okay.
They're probably a fire hazard too.
Yeah, I mean, I don't
100%.
like to think about that. But every time I
Wiring
I plug
from
my-
1912.
I plug my vacuum in, and
all.
all of the lights go whoosh.
Do they really?
Yeah,
It's not good.
it's fine. Yeah, it's fine. It's fine.
It-
Are you
definitely- it's definitely exciting doing something like that, but it's a lot of shit. Like,
Oh yeah.
I'm lucky I can like trade in my shed, and I have a lot of shit around me because I had to clean it out. So when the new one comes in, they can take the old one away.
Mhm.
Stressful.
What area do you live in?
North Florida, North Central Florida. Basically halfway between Jacksonville and Tallahassee.
Nice, cool. Cool.
All the cool stuff, none of the bullshit.
How far are you from Gainesville?
An hour, 45 minutes if I'm in a hurry.
That's not too bad. You want to deliver a shed?
Elijah's
Yeah.
in Gainesville.
I will. I 100% will deliver a shed to you.
It's funny.
After,
I can't see him. I just see the little mic like mute button coming on and off.
Yeah.
I think the season after.
Wait, you
this
mean
one,
that's not a
we're gonna
picture of
try to get a big
Elijah?
shed. Wow.
Mallow Clemmy's foreskin eye.
No, I think
Yeah.
the season after next, we're gonna try to get a 24 by 24 in the backyard.
100% can do that. That is possible. Will it be cheap?
Depending,
Probably not,
Yeah,
because nothing is
probably
cheap.
depending
But
on if
it
these
is
Thrassops
possible.
eggs make it. If these Thrassops eggs make it, or don't make it, I might just sell everything.
Weren't you saying something about eggs though the other day?
The Thrassops eggs, yeah.
Yeah. Like you got
They
some?
so
Yeah,
so
two, right?
she laid an 8-egg clutch.
What?
But 2.5 GPA Eli didn't see them for like 3 days because
Hey, that's higher
I
than
was
me.
trying to be very well. She was an import, so I was trying to be like super hands off, like just kind of let her adjust. So then, like 4 days ago, I was like, "Holy shit, there's eggs in there," and I went in and they were all dented like crazy. So I put them on like hatch right with sphagnum moss on top, and now like 4 of them have plumped back up completely, and then there's a few that are still pretty dented. So I'm hoping to at least hatch like 1 out.
Have you candled them at all
But
yet?
so the ones that have plumped out are like bright red.
Smitty, I need some pictures because I don't know exactly what he's talking about.
It's a wannabe boom slang.
I mean, that's still
You sure
pretty
should.
cool.
Let me pull some up. Now that I have my keyboard
Also,
right here.
Justin, I lied to your daughter. The boomslang is not my favorite snake, but I literally couldn't think of any species of snakes at all. That's
Okay.
the only one that
Here,
came to
hey,
mind.
What a liar!
Justin, I'm gonna send you a
face.
picture of the female.
I know. I
Okay.
lie to children. Only as children.
You got
Children
the
are ridiculous, I like it.
Occidentalis, right?
Occidentalis. Yeah, I can't find any, like literally anything on them. Everything's for Jacksonii, and as far as I know, the only species that have been bred are the. But in no way am I saying that I have bred these because it was just a gravid female. It would be cool to hatch though.
Bum, 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 bum. Let's
Here it
see.
is.
Chrome tab. So they're very like they're not terribly far separated from boom slangs. You know, they're African, they've got big eyes, they're shaped and scalated very similar to boom slangs, and that's a
Are they
Jacksoni.
mocks or are they venomous?
They are rear fangs. The jury still seems to be out as far as like how serious they are. There's some bite reports online that seem like they're probably something you don't want to get bit by. Frankly, I think it's just a case of not enough people have really had a bad enough bite, I think, to say one way or the other. But it's probably not something. Being how closely related to Dendra Dysphalidus they are, I don't know that I'd want to take any chances with them. But
hey,
that's
Justin,
just me.
I just sent you a picture of the female.
Okay.
Pretty sporty.
They are cool. I mean, how are yours? Like, are they super spazzy? Are they, in terms of dealing with them on a like daily maintenance basis? Are they a handful?
Oh, you broke up a lot, but she's pretty spazzy. I think I've only touched her like twice in the past month. And that was just putting her in the quarantine and then moving her over to a little bit more permanent setup. And I still need to get a permanent enclosure built for her, but she hasn't been too bad. They do this really weird like chewing motion with their obviously with their face when they like get pissed off. And the second time I pulled her out, she started to do that. And from what I've read, people are thinking that's them like warming up the glands, like getting ready. So as soon as I saw that, I was like, oh, all right, you're back, and just threw her back in the cage. So
you got to get those juices flowing.
Exactly. Yeah. At least they give you a warning. They do this weird, like as they're like chewing, they like do this weird like head twitch. It like shake side to side. It's weird. They're really cool. I want to try to get 4 or 5 pairs of them eventually and really figure them out.
Yeah, it's one of those ones that's sort of brought in, like imported fairly regularly. There's not a ton of people who go out of their way to get them. They're kind of just one of those odd species that get imported in decent numbers, and people buy them, and then who knows where they go. They just kind of disappear into the ether.
In the fish tanks.
The guy I bought my pair from. The guy I bought my pair from said he held back 10 pairs, and he's gonna try to get them to breed. But I don't know, if he's really gonna stick with them or not. So hopefully I can get a few more pairs going.
I'd imagine they're kind of like the Jansoni, and the fact that if you just kind of completely ignore them, they probably do great.
That's my plan, is just ignore them.
Pretend they don't exist.
Yeah, they're definitely not the type of snake that you can like take out and play and show little kids and stuff. So
So you're telling me birthday parties are off the
No go.
It depends on how much you like your kids.
What if they're not my kids?
Well, then I guess it's at your discretion.
You got some other stuff hatching right now. You paired some hogs, right?
Yeah, so I paired. I have a trio of hogs right now. I need to get more, but I paired Arctic albino het sable to het sable, and then the same male, the Arctic albino het sable, to a Arctic anaconda albino. So
what does the Arctic with the sable make?
Arctic sables.
Do they look like a sable, just white?
No. So Arctic doesn't really turn them white. It gives them more like contrast. They kind of look more like anery. Here, I'll send you a picture of an Arctic sable that I hatched out last year.
Man, I want some Eastern
I'm already
hogs.
having sellers.
Like a bright orange Eastern hog, or even like some Southern hogs, just because I can literally find them where I live, which is badass. But
I looked for hogs for like 3 years when I was in Kentucky, and never found one. My buddy just moved up to Indiana, and his kid found 3 in a week.
literally on like
Figures.
the Facebook gossip pages, 2 hogs have been a Southern was found and an Eastern was found within a week. And it's always the people who don't like snakes.
I'm afraid to look at the pages because it's going to be like, I just stomped on this head. What is this? It's going to be like a bright red hog.
An indigo or something.
Yeah. Here, I just sent you a picture of an Arctic sable.
It came after my kids.
It was chasing everybody.
Let it go through.
I was gonna say you might be asking a lot of your phone there, buddy.
Yeah, so I it's burning my hand at this point to hold it still.
I don't even want to touch my phone.
Oh, that almost looks like a Southern. That's weird.
Yeah, they're pretty cool. I really like them. I just sold off the last of that hog clutch to get some stuff from Chris.
Chris Painchab?
Chris Painchab.
Painchab.
They should
I'd zoom in,
tomorrow.
but
I'm really excited.
My computer won't zoom in on the actual picture. It'll just keep making the picture the same size and everything else around it bigger. So.
Oh, well, just imagine a semi-cool looking hognose snake.
Yeah, she's pretty.
Any color you want it to be. That's what color it is.
Yep, exactly.
What are you getting from Chris?
No, so I'm getting his pair of blue tongue skinks.
I forgot he even had blue tongues.
So did I. And then I was joking in the group chat. And I was like, hey, send those my way. And then he messaged me and he was like, hey, do you actually want these? I was like, well, now you've called me out, so I have to take them.
Yeah, you joke too much with Chris, and even if you don't give it to him, he'll find your address.
You end up with a box. Yep.
Yeah.
And then I did the same thing when he posted those Janai babies, because they're probably my favorite Pituophis, those Janai. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh, send those box too. And he was like, cool, one's coming. I was like, so.
Yeah, I don't know, man. The Janai, I like them, but that's just for whatever reason. Like the Kankakee and the Northern Pines are those are my jam. Those are what do it for me.
So I like orange animals. That's why we breed like the like those tangerine leopard geckos, like those real bright orange ones. And then like my goal with the hognose is to make sunburst and like super Arctic sunburst, or like bright orange snakes. So that those Janai just kind of fit right into the the group.
I'm supposed to be getting a good bit more corns from Chris. at some point in the next coming weeks. We've talked about a game plan.
What about your
I
Nicaraguan
still have that
boa?
OKT female.
Oh, you still have that OKT female?
What was it? I do.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. The Nicaraguan boas.
Yeah, she was.
I'm still
What's that?
contemplating. Billy Jenkins asked me about the Nicaraguan boas, and it's tough, man. I don't know, Bill. Maybe you can.
You need
All of you can chime in. Like, I miss
get them.
keeping Nicaraguan boas. They're cool. Scott Miller just had some, and he has some for sale, and they're really nice. And I told him I'd think about it because I do want some, but then it's like, do I really need another species? Is that space that I could be devoting to something more pressing? I don't know. Like, is it going to be one of those things where it's like I get them and I'm like, I like them, but I don't. It's just one of those things where it's like right now I'm just not feeling it. But I had this sort of weird nostalgia crush kind of thing going on. So that's why I was like, I'm going to think about it for a bit, sleep on it. That way it's not like an impulse thing. And maybe.
And then everyone you know is like, bye.
Exactly. The people that don't have to take care of them. The ones that are saying, do it. They're not the ones that have to dig up the space for them.
Get them, and then if you don't like them, I'll take them.
And then there's this whole thing with the beaded lizards now, too. And it's like, well, I mean, if I'm going to do the beaded, really the only place I can keep them is here in the garage. And I don't even know where I'd put them. So it's a thing.
Could you make their cage into like a coffee table?
That's kind of what I'd almost have to be doing is have it like right here.
Yeah.
To my right.
Just do it as your broadcast table.
At some point, that's what we originally talked about was like I'd have something a little sort of taller because they do like to climb and have it like as a background. But I think if I was going to do that, it'd have to be huge.
But we'll just
don't act like you
scoot your chair 2 feet forward, and that's your background.
I don't know. Like I said, I didn't know that Reed still even had them, so I was like, I guess he moved them because there was someone else that was supposed to get some from him because he had more, and I was under the impression that maybe they had all gone to him just because he hadn't really heard from me, like we hadn't talked lately. So I don't know. Bill, guide me. What do I do? Use your infinite wisdom and mystical beard. Be my guide.
Well, I would say with the Nick that the way you're keeping stuff now and with the things you're wanting to do with the black box enclosures and all that stuff, you're not going to want to keep a Nick in a drawer. You're going to want to set it up cool.
If they're anything like, I don't know, because if they're anything like the ones I had in the past, which like half of them were just plain piss ants, I don't know that necessarily them seeing everything going on would be a good thing. So I don't know.
Fair. But it seems that we're all kind of trending that direction. And so, which is cool. And you have cool setups, but bigger stuff in cool setups means significantly bigger setups.
Yeah.
Like, if you want to do a cool setup for some beadeds, yeah, you're talking about something like the size of your backdrop right now. Like that's a baller beaded setup. You're not going to
want to go too high. They'd fall off the freaking branches and die or something.
Well, no, but like you're looking at like, oh, I did a really cool job with my rhino rat. I did a really cool job with my barons. And then these beadeds that I love are in a tote. Like, no, you're not going to do that. You're going to be like, no, I'm going to build this baller thing, and it's going to be huge.
Yeah, I don't know. It's that's something I've actually been thinking about the last probably couple days at least. Is like doing a sort of a spring cleaning, like I've talked about in previous episodes, where I feel like at some point or another, everyone has this thing where they sort of look around. They're like, how did I end up with so much stuff? And then they kind of thin out on some things. And I'm looking at some of the stuff I have, and it's so hard because all the stuff I have is like by choice. Like there's a reason I have it. You know, there's a reason that, you know, minus some of the smaller stuff from Chris that, you know, he's like, I got this, you know, you can take these, I need them gone, you know, and so, and with what he and I have planned, you know, it's not going to get any better. So I don't know. There are some corns and stuff that I probably could part with. I've contemplated parting with the Subox, and maybe my pine. If I get rid of my pine, it's just she's gonna go to Jake on, like, you know, permanent loan, whatever the hell that means. Because he, you know, that's another female for him to use. I mean, she's got some time still, but I don't know. Like I'm looking at what I have, and it's like I know sort of what I want to stick with in terms of breeding, at least for the foreseeable future. And then there's infinite other stuff that I want, and my room is just not big enough for a lot of this. So it's tough.
Well, that's the thing about you guys that breed, is you always have to have consideration for, at least temporarily, an increase in numbers anytime you have babies. And then especially with you having project ideas and like specific directions and things like that, you kind of have to have holdbacks for that, and you have to have some kind of process for that, which means housing more animals. And so that's like one of the key differences, like with me, is I, like everybody, like quite a few episodes lately, people have been talking about the Noah's Ark thing and how they're trying not to Noah's Ark it. That's what I do. Like I have a huge diverse collection because I don't breed stuff. My stuff doesn't make more stuff. If I want more stuff, I set up an enclosure for it and get a new thing. Whereas for you guys, you have to plan into the future because your intention is to make more stuff out of the stuff you already have.
Yeah.
That was going to be my next question.
And it's a little different for Bill too, because I mean, you're doing educational stuff, so you look at it from the standpoint of like, what would be a good animal that works well for education stuff, and you know, what isn't going to be a complete nightmare to deal with around people, and you know, like you do have your own set of unique sort of criteria when it comes to deciphering or deciding what comes into the fold.
Definitely.
So,
but just as far as space goes, like you guys will always eat your own space because you make your own stuff. You know what I mean?
Do you have any pairs of anything, or you just have?
I am also a victim of Chris Painshot, and so
this is just a support group.
I have a trio of Eastern Black King snakes. Because I think they're super cool and I really like the backstory, and even in the context of having them with the intention of, you know, breeding them in the future, I still use them in the show aspect because I can teach about how they were collected and where they came from, and you know, they were collected before the rules changed. And I can use that story to teach. I have my Argus monitors are paired. That was gifted to me. The female was gifted to me. I have technically a pair of alligators, not intentionally, and not anywhere near breeding alligators. What else do I have, boys and girls of? And I have a pair of corns, which are not for that purpose. They're just for doing shows, but they are a boy and a girl. And then I also have morning geckos that produce, but that's because they're morning geckos.
Yeah, you don't get much of a choice there.
Yeah, that was more or less the question, is if you like actually intentionally paired stuff, like if you had a project tucked away, like
so I do have my Aplurus iguanas, it's a genus from Madagascar. I do have 3 different groups of those. Ryan McVeigh and Bill Stewart and myself got most of the species for the Aplurus genus that are available in the States when they were being brought in. And I keep them in breeding groups, and I basically just leave them alone. And if they produce, that's cool. But the intention was to get them hoping that they would produce, but because of the they're just very flighty. They're highly visual. I actually use their displays to teach because they are communicative and very visual. And it'd be super cool if they produced. If they don't, that's fine. I just really like them. But they are grouped in with the hope of that happening. And the Argus female was given to me expressly because she had laid 2 infertile clutches for her previous owner, and I have a male that's almost 5 feet long. So
A stud.
folks
Yeah.
were hoping that I would be able to produce with him. He's very interested, and she likes to beat him up and steal his food. So we're working on that.
I've been in relationships like that too.
It's complicated.
How do you feel about it, Dom? Mike Kosicki said, "What do you want when you have more room?"
Oh man. That's like a good question. So I'm in like a bit of flux right now. So I recently had like a pretty significant career change, and I'm in this kind of interesting situation where I am. There's a good chance in the next couple of years I'm going to have to make a priority of my career or my animals, which is like not it's not a decision I'm like excited to make.
Dibs on the Condors.
They're not going anywhere, but it's really like as far as like how far I want to expand and if I do want to like see myself as a breeder or more just like a collector. Right now, like I actually am downsizing a little bit just because I'm trying to prioritize, and like the green trees are always going to have my heart. Like 1,000,000% are always going to be like my priority animal. So like if push came to shove, like I would just have a green tree collection. And I guess like for the time being, I don't really think I'm going to add anything outside of anything I produce, but I really don't have any plans for new species. I gave my Brettles back to Casey Cannon, which broke my heart a little bit. I definitely like absolutely loved those animals, but I had them for 2 years and was like, I'm not going to be a Brettles breeder. And these are such nice animals that I really want them to go to someone who's going to take really great care of them and like use them for their purpose, essentially. So yeah, Mike, you're asking the question that's been floating around my mind a lot lately. But for the time being, I don't have any more room. I just signed my lease in this 1-bedroom apartment for another year. So I think this background is probably what we're sticking with for a while.
Bill has my Brettles. I miss her.
Yeah, we just keep throwing Brettles out there. I don't know why. Well, they just appear on your front door one day, and then you love them, and then they get big. Green trees are so small. I love it.
That is the best about green trees. That little dude, that's all he needs.
Yeah.
The little tiny box.
Like one day I really do think I will do like 3x2x2s for the green trees, just because I personally really like to see them use it, and my animals do. But also like they could stay in their 18 or 24-inch cubes for a very long time. That's if they get that far.
Mm-hmm.
Green trees are just as easy to kill as they are to keep. So
it's hard, man. Like especially sort of given with the corn morphs and stuff, and you know what I have with those now. It's like how do you downsize when everything is in the plan?
Yeah,
and that's why I don't have morphs and corn morphs and stuff. I've gotta keep it small.
I would say if you're going to be VMS 2.0, you probably need a VMS sized building, wouldn't you say?
That would be great, and I'd have an entire room of nothing but rhino rats if that were the case. Rhino rats are one of those species where I legitimately was like, it's one of the where if someone was like, you got to sell everything, you can only have rhino rats, I'd probably be mostly okay with that. I'd be like, all right, I'm down. I don't think y'all understand how awesome those snakes are.
Well, I ran into like almost that exact scenario a couple months ago.
And I'm gonna get more honeys from JT.
I was in the process of looking for a new job, and one of the jobs I was seriously considering was gonna require a move to New York City, and that's like no pythons. You know, it was seriously like I sat down with my sister.
It's New York City.
I know, but
That's reason enough.
No, I would live in New York. I wouldn't love to live in New York, but
way too busy for me, man.
Yeah, but for my job, it makes a lot of sense. It's just it's interesting. Like I did think about like the choice of like if you could only keep one of your animals, like would you do it? Ultimately, I didn't have to make that choice, but it's weird. Those hypothetical questions were getting a little too real for me for a little bit. I was getting real panicked.
Yeah, JT said buy more honeys, and like if I was gonna keep any of the Cornworths, it would definitely be the honey stuff for sure, because that's like I love the honey combination. Like
they're nice looking.
I can't get enough of it.
Is there okay? I don't keep up with corns, but I remember just like a few years ago, like palmettos, they were the shit. Like, is there a new like morph that like is the shit as far as like how it was with palmettos, or is that a specific case because of how difficult it was to get them?
The only thing I can think of that would come close currently is shatters, and JT may agree with that. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I just know what I like. I don't really. The problem is I like all of it.
Also, I'm gonna pause for a second. Phil's not here, and I don't know. Did anyone ask you what you're smoking, Justin?
We did not.
Roma Craft Cro-Magnon, the usual.
Great. And Bill, what about you?
Standby.
I was using a Danny Boy Pipes pipe, as I always do. And actually, that was their brand of tobacco. I was doing Irish Aromatic.
Nice.
Oh, great. That means, yeah, I totally know what that means for sure.
Sounds like absolutely.
Yeah, love the tobacco.
It's Irish and it smells really nice. That's what it means.
I was like, we can't not ask. Phil would be so mad.
I didn't think, I was like, this is a mostly snakes and on some Stogies sort of show. So I was like, Phil's not here. No one probably really cares. So
I care.
Thank you.
You know me. I care a lot.
I don't know. Do you ever feel like a sense of panic when you're in that mode of like, there's a lot of things I want to do, I don't have the space to do it, and there's things that can probably are non-essential personnel, and so you feel this like, I guess, dread in a sense where it's like I don't want to get rid of anything, but at the same time, if I want to do what I want to do, then it's probably necessary.
Yeah, I mean, like it's going to be like really difficult for you to give up Ellie and take over her room, but I know it's probably
hey, some decisions are going to have to be made. I think her room is actually slightly bigger than the snake room, and I've tried to sell Katie on swapping.
She could fit in a 4x2 for sure.
I'd get her one of the nice big black box cages.
Okay.
She could it could be like it'd be almost like a tiny house. Like the top half, she can crawl up in that. That can be her little loft, and the bottom can have all her toys. And
yeah, you could really sell this.
There you go.
You switch out the toys every day. It's new enrichment, you know.
That is, I am bummed. Like when we were house shopping, there was this one house we were looking at, and it had like wasn't really a sunroom in the traditional sense, but it was like a room that led out to like a porch area, but it wasn't like all windows and glass, and that would have been like the perfect size room for all that stuff. And obviously we didn't get that house, but we ended up getting the one we have now. But I don't know what to do. Help. Yeah, thanks, Billy. He's like, yeah, sure.
I had to refill.
What are you drinking?
Some Maker's Mark on the rocks with a cool little cup that I got at Daytona last year.
Nice.
I got so confused, and I thought that the bottom was the Maker's Mark, and I was like, why is it so dark? I was like, oh my god, dude, like you're drinking, like what
really,
are you drinking?
No, stop.
My grandma used to drink Maker's Mark every single day. That was like her drink of choice. She's super cool.
It's pretty good. Your grandma's a pretty cool person, apparently.
A woman of taste.
Yeah.
She was the grandma who
a woman of
I stayed at her house one time, and she picked out movies at the movie store for us to watch, right? And I picked like A Bug's Life, and she picked out a movie.
Species.
That was it was a
Friday the 13th.
It was a documentary about spiders, and she just put it on like in the VCR on the bed on the TV right next to her bed and like put me to sleep. And I just distinctly remember that there was the very first scene is a spider crawling up this guy's leg while he's in bed. And I was like, oh my God.
What? That's not a bedtime story, Grandma.
I mean, it was pretty long, you know. She was like, yeah, this kid likes creepy things. Like, I'll just throw that on. She likes animals and
Sweet dreams, kid.
oh God, it's so funny.
Bill, do you know if you're going to Daytona yet or not?
You better.
I do not
Everyone better be there. Ever.
I, as most know by now, am transitioning to a new job or a new position at a job in July.
Everyone's changing jobs.
So,
good Lord.
I will be in a one-person apartment crash pad in Pennsylvania, commuting to DC for a while.
You'll be in a one-person pad commuting to Daytona for one weekend in August.
I am going to try to finagle that.
I think you're sick that weekend. I have a feeling.
Yeah,
Tell them you got the Rona, then you get a week off.
I'm not so sure.
Nowadays,
I'm not so sure DC likes burden and sick leave, but we'll find out. Yeah, I am. I am trying. So
Billy's obviously going to be there.
Oh yeah.
Are you planning to get anything? You got your eyes on. That's the other problem, man. Lee Abbott's going to have a table at Daytona, and he had a bunch of stuff last year that I wanted to get and didn't, and now I'm sure he's going to have more of it this year. And Weisler's table, like I got that candy cane tester male. I want a candy cane female for that. Like,
so getting the shed and that's going to make me a little tighter than I want to be at Daytona. So might pick up one or two things, but other than that, I mean, who knows?
I think the only solution is to just go to Daytona broke, and then you don't have to worry about it at all.
No,
that's what I've done the last couple of years.
I like to drink, so
I go so broke.
I have to have the extra money because the bangs at the hotel are like $4.
What?
Yeah,
just,
I spent so much.
Buy like 12 of them at Walmart.
I should.
Three 12-packs.
But then I have to have a
it's got a mini
cooler.
fridge.
Yeah, but I don't know. That 12-pack would be gone.
My thing is, I'm going to be a Pennsylvania person for a little while, so I don't know if I should go to Daytona or if I should start going to Hamburg and get my $50 Gaboon and name it after Phil. Thought that was the plan.
I feel like Hamburg at this point is just like a spectacle that you have to go just to experience it. Whether you buy something or not, you just have it's like going to like a
get a shirt that says "I survived Hamburg."
It's like going to Vegas.
It's like going. To
Oh no,
Vegas.
I'm for sure going because I won't have any reptiles at my apartment, so I don't have to worry about bringing mites back, and I can just off myself and cover myself in rid outside the door, and then I'll be good to go.
I was like, what? You just go. I'm just gonna off myself, and I was like, Bill, hey.
We need Bill. You okay, buddy?
Off. Not. I need
yeah,
help off.
That makes more sense now. But you paused way too long before you said bugs.
Hamburg for all the mites. You can go to JT's place and you can smuggle some corns and send them to me.
We talked about that a little bit. It's more go to JT place and shoot a bunch of things, less corn snakes,
but while he's busy putting up new targets or taking them down, you can run.
True.
Grab some corns. I'll give you a list, and it'll be like that grocery store game where people had like 60 seconds to fill up a cart and they got what they got. Same thing.
It seems like a terrible plan to try to shoplift snakes while my buddy loads guns. I don't think that is a
well, that's why you tell him
how
you're going to
fast
the
you run,
bathroom or
Bill.
something, and then he's not going to question it.
Bill, you could totally put like a little gecko on the underside of your beard. No one would ever see it.
True.
You could.
It would
Wear
feel
a
so
big
at home,
beanie.
just hanging out in the moss.
Bill will be like
What'd you
Ace
say?
Ventura in his apartment.
There's probably going to be a lot of plants. I got to be honest.
He gets lonely in Pennsylvania. I'm buying plants.
Yes, do it. My plants are going crazy right now. We had a big storm the other day, and I had them all out on the fire escape, and it was perfect. So nice. I looked insane though because it was like pouring, and I'm like half out my window, like trying to put as many plants on the fire escape as I possibly could, which is definitely
Free
not.
water.
So
Free
I'll tell
water.
Billy Hunt because I am like a walking fire hazard.
So, even though most people don't care about plants,
I mean, they help me
At
breathe.
least one person
I-
here does.
I
It's Dom.
care.
Yeah.
It's me.
I just sent you a picture, Justin, in Messenger of the ridiculous update to one of my plants that's flowering. I've never seen that before.
Oh,
I
that is
I-
rather phallic.
oh.
Yes, it's quite male
Mm.
looking.
I'm trying. It's like a
But-
diorama.
What plant is that? I've seen it in the chat or like the other day or whenever, but it is.
Philodendron phallus. Philodendron phallicus.
Caucus.
It's related to the Malaclemes forscinicus.
Well, that's all right, because the picture right above that's actually one of my kids holding a soft shell turtle. So
I'm trying to bring it
we
up.
were kayaking, and I told Walter, I was like, dude, reach down right next to you right now, grab that turtle. And she
Oh,
goes, what? Scooped it up.
Elijah said his phone died and that he said thanks, but then he came back.
Oh, so he's a liar.
Yeah.
And then oh, there he is.
I'm bringing it up.
And
It's just taking a
there he
minute.
goes.
Oh yeah. What is that? Is that it's a kind of lily, right?
I don't know. It's a big old broadleaf plant.
Phallus
It's got
lily.
Maybe it's not a lily. I don't know.
What do they call it?
An elephant ear?
Elephant ear, yeah.
Is that? Yeah.
of some kind.
I was gonna say ear
Oh my
elephant.
gosh.
Fuck.
Coidal.
That's so cute. Huh.
It's
That is
odd.
interesting.
Makes me uncomfortable.
So at the
Yeah,
base
not
of that, what looks like a small stack of plant cocaine is just an incredible amount of pollen.
That
Yeah,
actually
Colin's
is
going
fitting.
crazy right now.
Thank you, Dragon Layer. Alocasia.
Oh, it's an alocasia. That makes sense. That makes
Botany nerds.
sense. Oh my god. Yeah, God forbid you hang out with nerds.
Dude, speaking of
Speaking
plant
of
nerds, Clint
nerds.
Reinhardt sent me a
Yeah.
one of the relatives of the corpse flower.
Yes, I was gonna ask if you got one of those. Clint's local to me. I love him.
Dude, he added me to the list for when he gets babies off the corpse flower.
Hell yeah.
I'm so excited. He has
Yeah.
awesome stuff.
No, he doesn't. He's just a really awesome guy.
So I need to plug that dude because the whole reason I got this plant box was he made a post and said he just had some regular old plant cuttings if anybody wanted one. Just like PayPal him $10 for the UPS box or USPS box, no big deal. And so I PayPal'd him the $10 or whatever, no big deal. And he was going to go to post office like this Friday or whatever, and then he forgot, and then I forgot. And it was a couple of weeks went by, and we were messaging back and forth, and I was like, dude, I think we totally forgot about the plant box. And he's like, oh man, I did forget about the plant box. I'm going to send you a list of all these plants I have available. Pick some out. I heard you were talking with your daughter or whatever, and she's super into plants. So he sends me this list, and it's like insane. And I was like, hey man, that's a pretty high-end list of plants. Like, let me send you some money or whatever. Like, the box he was originally sending was a hookup. Like, you don't have to hook up my hookup. And he's like, no, it's cool. Your daughter's into plants. Check this out. I'm going to send you this whole scattering. Man, the box I got today is ridiculous. Like biophytum, the corpse flower relative, the original cutting he was gonna send me, and like, dude, all these rooted already in their pots. Like, crazy.
Did you get the sensitive plant?
Yeah.
Do you know? I want one of those really bad. I will like always be an advocate for Clint. He is just like an incredibly generous person. He gave me my starter colony of like the powder orange and blue mix of my isopods, and they blew up. But he's a great guy if you're looking for really high quality stuff. And he breeds stuff that like no one's working on.
Yeah, he's got some really interesting stuff.
He posts pictures, and I'm like, that's a lizard of some sort. Good for you.
Yep, that's a reptile, all right.
That is cold-blooded if I ever saw it. Do you know I had to Google the other day if birds were cold-blooded?
You mean avian reptiles?
I don't think they are, but I can't remember anymore. But
You mean
the amount of times I have to
dinosaurs?
Google things like that.
I just got a dinosaur.
Avian reptiles and non-avian reptiles.
It's about this big.
What is it?
The cockatiel?
Little parakeet or something. It's not really mine.
It's a bird.
Yeah, it's pretty cool though. I mean,
Does
It's-
it say things?
no. It goes, but
How's
it
it
can
go
sit on my finger and not have a panic attack anymore.
Nice.
So
You can?
Same.
Are you afraid of
Oh,
birds?
okay. No, the bird, not me.
Oh, I was like, are you afraid of birds?
I could definitely beat a bird up. No, I'm scared.
Not a.
Well,
Not
Have
a
you
depends
met
what type
anyone?
of bird.
you
I'm
seen
sorry.
Yeah,
cassowary?
let's calm down.
I'm sorry.
Like, do you think,
Cassowary,
honestly, I don't think
Emu, ostrich.
you
definitely
have
kick
a
my ass.
chance against a goose. Like, with all love and respect.
So, goose, they
Murder
have a
duck.
lot of attitude. But if you get past the attitude,
I just don't think
it's a
you
fair
would.
fight.
I think they'd hurt your feelings first.
The grab.
What?
What did you say, Eli? Elijah? What's his?
Hello.
Great. Thank you for your contribution.
Man,
I want to see Billy Jenkins fight a
Snapping.
cassowary.
No, dude, no.
I'll pay money. Someone else want to put money down on that? We'll make it happen.
All right.
Dude, we'll put you in like some
No.
armor and some like a fencing mask and some other stuff. We'll figure it out. We'll wrap some pillows around your
No.
legs or something.
you get
Chain
one
mail?
snake hook. No, one snake hook, one garbage can lid. Go.
I
Chainmail,
think a spear,
garbage can lid.
like a homemade spear where he takes a stick and just whittles it with a knife. That's what he gets.
Would
in a
you
garbage-
rather fight
I get 5
cassowary
minutes
to the
to
death
whittle.
or a boar?
Cassowary or boar?
I'm
Yeah,
gonna go with cassowary.
Or no problem.
boar for sure. Cassowary's got those claws.
I'm tall though. I
feel
can
like
I can handle that.
I
doesn't
feel
matter.
I feel dexterous enough to end up on top of a boar, riding it like a champion.
Yeah.
But they've got the
Ooh.
tusks and stuff, man. You get stabbed in the ribs.
No, they got the tusks and you use those like reins. Once you're on top, just
Yeah.
ride that boar to the sunset.
I don't know. I do want to. I've seen videos of people fighting like fist fighting kangaroos, and that's kind of on my bucket list now.
Don't do that.
No, dude.
Mind.
Yeah.
No.
I feel
Surely
like
there's
you're gonna get kicked.
there's somewhere in Australia where you can fight a kangaroo, and I'll pay to do
I'm
it.
sure there is, but I think a kangaroo kick to the giblets is probably a permanent injury.
Well, I'll wear
Yeah.
a cup. Obviously,
And
I'm not an idiot.
It doesn't matter where you get kicked. Well, if you're getting kicked by a kangaroo, I mean, you're permanent
seen-
injury.
There's plenty of people that have been kicked by kangaroos, and they were fine.
Have you ever seen Kangaroo Jack?
It's been a long time. I think I was like 10 when that came out. I don't know.
It's been a long time since I've seen it too, but apparently,
Did you see the video of the dude where the kangaroo was
He's
like
fighting his dog?
had his dog like in a headlock,
headlock.
and then dude came up and like just squared up to the kangaroo and just freaking jacked it right in the jaw, and the kangaroo just kind of stood there like, dude, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Bill, have you not
Yeah,
seen that
no.
video?
I have. I was reading the chat. Sorry.
Oh, I was like, he looks confused. He just punched it right in the face, and the kangaroo just kind of stood there like, what the hell?
We have
There was
new,
another video recently of a guy who like straight up like went to the ground with one and was like UFC
What?
style. Yeah.
They also have claws.
yeah,
And they use
That-
little
that-
hands.
that's what scares
Barely.
me, dude.
They're just
That's
giant
a
rat
wild
horses.
animal.
Yeah. Would you rather fight Yzma or cassowary?
A cassowary.
Yeah.
It
I don't
has
know.
to
I
be the
think I could
cassowary
take
because I
Yzma.
feel like even if you win, Yzma with the demon that possesses her will come back and get you. So there is no win.
Yeah.
There is
Sometimes
no
I
way
wake
to
up
do
at
that.
night. Sometimes I wake up at night and she's fully sitting on my chest, just looking down at me.
Plotting your murder. If she had
And I'm like,
thumbs, you'd be dead in your sleep a long time ago.
if she had claws, I'd be in trouble. But she's declawed. Not my choice. She came declawed, but
That's why the way she is.
oh yeah, she's
She's
just
trapped in a prison in her
Yeah.
own body. She can't
You
escape.
sons of bitches.
Like the
Yeah.
Metallica video for
Anything.
one.
I don't have any background on her at all. Like all I know is that she was taken off of the kill list at another shelter. And
Because
so
she gave them
I'm-
one look and they were like, oh God,
Well-
not this one.
I'm guessing her owner died and she ate the body. Like that has to be where she came from, right? Nothing else would make sense for this cat.
The only backstory I have is she crawled out of hell and now she's here to stay.
Yeah.
Yeah, she looks like the kind of animal that's possessed by the soul of an elderly woman. I see that.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
the one
She's
from
turning
the
14
Insidious
this year.
movies.
Good movies. She's old. I want her to make it to 16 so you can have a sweet 16.
She's
Oh,
the
God.
embodiment of Madame Zeroni from the movie Hold.
Yeah, yeah.
I think she would love that.
You will
Be
be.
happy with that.
What did she say? You must carry Madame Zeroni to the top of the mountain, or you will be cursed for all of eternity.
Eternity.
I did not like that movie growing up. It scared me.
Forever.
She was scared of the
Something
bearded
about
dragons.
woodpecker fries.
I was scared of the yellow spotted lizards.
Oh yeah, spotted
I
lizard.
was scared of Sigourney Weaver.
I was just scared of
In all the
accidentally
right
committing
ways.
a crime and being imprisoned for
Straight
it.
to a work camp.
I
child.
I really thought that one day I was just dumb enough to do a bad crime and go to jail.
Yzma has street cred. If Yzma were a person, she'd have a teardrop tattoo or two under her eyes.
I'm sending you a picture of her on Facebook. So for the people who don't know who this cat is,
Is
At
it one of
least
her
two.
trapped in the carrier? Because that's
No,
probably
that
one of my
one's
favorite
funny.
cat pictures of all time.
that one's funny. No,
Let
this
me
one's one of my
go.
favorites. This one's one of my favorites. She's a good cat.
Set me free. See if I get out of here, I'm kicking your
Just a
ass.
wonderful soul.
She is. She's so sweet. And the thing is, she's the loveliest. like you really do meet her. She rocks. You can ask Casey and Ryan. They've met her.
See, that's the thing, is we have, like, you would say an outside cat. I mean, I hate it, but
Shame.
I know, shame on me.
Shame.
Well, I love other people's cats. It's cool to pet a cat. Pretty cat.
Behold
Yzma.
in all her glory.
I love her so much.
It's
Crump,
the
pull the
it's the
lever.
Billy Idol lip curl that does it.
Yeah.
And then just the fact that her eyes are like
Slits.
full of hatred.
Like she's got this furrowed brow.
And it's permanent.
Yeah.
Fine specimen.
She's just
I love
the
that
best.
Snakes and Stogies quite often has nothing to do with Snakes and Stogies.
Yeah. I just like talking about the cat.
Well, this is what happens when Phil leaves, you know? This
Yeah.
is what happens when Phil goes on vacation.
And on that excellent note, my computer is dying and I have to go to bed. So I am going to say goodnight. It's been a pleasure to speak with everyone. I love you. And I'll see you if we don't chat in person. I'm sure we'll chat online, and I'll see you all at Daytona. Bill, please.
Working on it,
Okay.
man.
Bye, guys. See ya.
Bye.
Not dumb.
Night.
See ya.
Hey.
Shoot. Well, was there anything else we wanted to get into? How many more condors are you going to get there, Jenkins? All of them. More.
I mean, yeah, I'm about to get a lot more room, so as much as my financial space will let me, and we'll go from there. Right now, I have the one male, sarong type. Who knows what he is? I am a bastard child, so I want to pair him with her. She is jungle carpet
Don't
from
say
Billy.
it. No, not you too.
Dude,
I'm just
they're
kidding.
cool.
They're
So,
cool. They're cool.
yeah.
They're cool.
But hopefully, maybe get a female just to throw in the mix. You know, I like pretty snakes with the pure whatever. If they're pretty, they're
Your equal
that's all I care
opportunity.
about. Yeah. I mean, I have some Novas from Billy that I plan to pair, and I mean, I love Novas. Novas are really cool. Maybe after pairing them once or twice, maybe outcross them. Maybe, you know, put something cool in the mix.
Do
I
it,
mean,
Cuppin.
that's what it's about.
Cuppin said he's going to pair his chondros with his rough scales.
Do it. I mean, why not?
Which Eric Burke was supposed to send me some pictures of that I guess it is a hybrid, but because they're super closely related. Like those are the closest thing to green trees on the family tree. So I'm actually very curious if you put a rock chondro to a regular chondro.
I mean,
I think
it
Owen
gets hard,
McIntyre would show up
but
to your house.
I wish he would.
If the McIntyre shows up, he shows up. Okay.
Yeah.
But
what's he gonna do?
That's the secret.
Yeah,
That's how you get him to appear. Nobody
Yeah,
knows
exactly.
how to get the squatch. That's how you get the squatch.
But I mean, as obviously sometimes it gets hard, but as long as you represent what you have, who cares? There's snakes in
A
boxes.
lot of people, apparently.
I know, but not Shmi. So.
All right. Well, this was episode 123 of Snakes and Stogies. Phil should be back next week. We're doing a one-on-one this week for THP, and then we have Derek Roddy lined up for the following episode. So that's exciting. Very anxious to get into that. He actually approached us, which I thought was pretty cool. He's like, "Hey man, listen to the show, enjoy it. You know, if you want to talk blackheads, let me know." It's like, hell yeah.
Is he in Florida?
I think so. I think he was in South Carolina at one point, but now I think he is in Florida. So, yeah, I'm not sure, but either way, we got it lined up and in the books, so that's going to be coming up here soon. Other than that, the show is brought to you by Puget Sound Pythons, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. Check them out, and blackboxcages.com, blackboxcages.com, blackboxcages.com. We love them. I always need more of them. I do need more of them.
I need to get some of them.
You do need to get some of them.
I've been looking at those like 72, I think, by 24 by 24.
Yeah.
Those are nice.
Yep.
Very nice. Very nice.
Yeah, I definitely gotta sort of take inventory of what I need and figure out something. So I know I feel like I've been saying that for like 3 months straight, but it's true. So thanks, guys. We will see everybody Thursday night. We may stream the one-on-one live. I'm not sure. We talked about doing that on the one-on-ones, but I don't know that it happened last time, so we'll see. But
do it. Do it. Do it. Do it.
All right. Peer pressure. See you
Bye,
later.
guys.
See ya.